is Shilpa Aditi, One Stroke Master Relief Director. Today we are going to do a small painting with delphinium flowers and then leaves, just a light background that goes with it. We'll start with doing the background, and here is the project. We'll start with doing the background similar to what we have here, and followed by some stroke study, and then we'll go on to the project. While the background is going to dry, we are going to do some practice stroke study, and then we'll jump into the project. Okay, for the practice stroke study, I'm going to use this small book that I have that I'm using for practices. Yeah, so we're going to do some practice here with a smaller brush, and then we're going to use the 5x8 angle brush for our painting today, and we need either a cloth to wipe off or a napkin. Anything is fine. I'm wetting my brush into the brush caddy, taking out excess water. Okay, just keeping it aside. And we need Four-Cut multi-surface, Wicker White, Violet Pansy, Ink Spot Blue, Fire Coal, and some orange maybe. I'm going to add pure orange. I'm going to start with the background, and we definitely need a floating medium to get this lighter effect of background. Okay, so let's start with the background. I'm keeping this aside, and that's my card in case you're interested. So we're going to use the same brush today, or maybe we're going to use a sponge today, and this is a flat one that we're going to use. I'm going to add white first. Alright, and we're going to add touch of a purple on the side, because I'm going to take a very little from that, and actually orange, yellow ochre. Oops, that's a lot, but I'm going to use very little from that, and then a lot of floating medium. Okay, and you see I'm just going to touch a bit into floating medium. I'm keeping the side to show the colors I'm choosing here, and I'm going to make it a light color. Just because of the floating medium, you will end up seeing lighter shade from there. Alright, my hair, just covering it up, just going all the way up and down, nothing more than that. And now I'm keeping my brush flat, where I'm taking out excess paint from there. On the other side, because I want to make it a light strokes now. taking out all the excess paint. Just one stroke. And I like the shine that it gave. I'm just using that paint to cover my sides. All the excess paint that I got, I'm just using that to cover my sides. So today we are doing on an 8 by 10 inch small canvas. Alright, so that's our background, and you can see that it's closer to what we have here. And I'm just dropping this into the water because we are still working on a project. Just leave it in water, soaked in there, and keeping this aside. And let's start with some practice strokes. Okay. So let's just do, I'm going to pick up different colors for practice so that you can choose on whatever colors you want to go with. And this is a 5 by 8 flat angle brush, sorry. And then I'm just picking up both the colors, loading my brush. Make sure when you're loading your first time, spend enough time going back and forth. Make sure your inside of your bristles are nicely loaded. And then touch your floating medium so that it will help flow easily. Okay, so I have my brush loaded nice, and let's just practice the flower first. Just the stroke of the flower is what we are going to do first. So just to see the color combination, so this is what I got, right? And for the flower, you can keep this V as your reference and a line for to help. Going closer here, right? And you're touching from here, going flat down, stand up by the time you reach up 90 degrees, right? And then curving down and then standing up. Touch, pressure, stand up. Touch, pressure, stand up. So that is the flower stroke that you're doing there. And I'm making sure I'm loading my brush again. Again one more time. Touch, pressure, stand up. Okay, that's just the one stroke that we got. So what we're going to do is do the same, repeat the same. Let's say this is your center and you're trying to get 5 petals actually. 1, right? And then you're giving little gap for each petal. 2, and then the 3, and then the 4, and then the 5. So those are all the reference lines for you. And I want to add some floating medium so I can flow quickly into the palette. And I'm just touching floating medium and then going back, loading the brush. And that's my first stroke. Touch, stand up. So whatever we practice here, we're just repeating that in here, right? You can turn around if you want. And those rough lines are just created, doesn't mean you have to go perfectly. Those are just good reference for us. You can go a little farther, little closer, but again touch. So we are already having 4 and the 5th one is going to be covering the rest. I ran out of my paint. Whenever I do that, I just go pick up and then load. Alright, so the flower is done, and then you just add some white to your palette. Just tip of your brush, center white. Alright, and then use this pin tool and little purple dots in the center. I think it's good idea to let the white dry and do the center later. Okay, so that's our flower, and on the canvas we are going to go with purple and white. Here, to show on this lighter shade, I went with different colors. Alright, and for the leaf also we are going to do the same approach, but we're going to pick up some greens. I have hunter green, sorry, and I'm going to continue to use the other color, same touch of white on the yellow archer side, and then green. We're going to keep the green. So if you see, I did not wash my brush. I'm using the same purple color and then just loaded my green on the purple side, and then I'm lightening my more yellow archer with the lighter shade, and then touch of floating medium, and then the leaf is going to be the same stroke. Okay, so just to show one different ways, just because the colors change, the leaf looks different. Okay, and you can also do just this stroke if you want. Alright, and then you can just go downward also, just touch, pull. So those are different ways that you can get the leaf, some options. Okay, and now if you want to do the whole leaf like this, all you have to do, same stroke, you're repeating, just that's your first, right, and that's your side one, just the reference lines I'm giving it. Again, this one going this side, this one going that side, and then this one on the center, right? I'll just go touch, so if you think your green is like not the other color is dominating, just load the green more next time, so you get your colors right. And then this hair is coming back. I wanted the green dominating here, so I'm just going and restroking again. One more, then one more. Alright, and right away if you pull your stems, that will look more blended and nice. So you can also extend your strokes to keep it closer if you want. So those are your leaves. And also if you want to get a little longer slender leaves to your project, it's just that you either can go this way and then start from the top, pressure, pull, stand up. So that gets your long touch, pressure, stand up. So as you go down, you're going now 90 degrees straight, standing up. So you can do that way also on the long slender leaves. Okay, so those are our leaf and flower practice. And this flower, as you go down, we're going to increase pressure, and as you go up, we'll reduce the pressure. Okay, and just for the bud, we are not going to do all 5 petals. We're just going to do 3 petals for the flower. Okay, so let's just go on to the project. So those are our reference. So we're going to start with going back to the canvas now, making sure it's all covered. Okay, now we are going to just start with some leaves, and then we'll jump into the project, and also the stems. Actually forgot. So for this long slender stems, all we are doing is just keeping your brush 90 degrees straight and adding the stems as you go, like that. Okay. So I'm going back, making sure I have my darker shade, enough of the darker shade. I'll continue with the yellow Ochre because we picked already, and making sure my dark shade is enough. Alright, and I'm going to make sure my bottom is all covered. Let's say till here to here is all stems going on all directions, and every time I'm just going and picking up whenever I'm losing my paint. Now I'm going to just have a small slender leaves. Okay, like we saw practiced. Some are lighter, some are darker, but we are just going with the combination. And then we are going to add few leaves that are going on the down direction. And I just did the rough design, and then I'm just enhancing that with the strokes that we practiced. So whenever you're losing your paint, make sure go grab more, load your brush nice, and then come back. That's the important part with one stroke technique, to get it right. Alright, so we have one leaf going on that side, and I'm going to reduce my lighter side so that we have different shades of leaves going around. Alright, and this one I'm going to just go. So that is one leaf. So we are trying different ways of filling our stems and leaves, and here I'm going to have one leaf that goes just stretched, 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 and then pressure, stand up. And I'm having one going here. Make sure you're loading every time, touch of floating medium to help flow easily. Then one going until the top and one going in this direction. And if your stems are not coming back flat, don't put a lot of pressure. That will, okay, reduce right, one going here. So we are just filling with some leaves. That's all we are doing as of now. Alright, and let's have one going here, this one. Alright, so one going from here. And then few stems that are just lighter shade, so I just want to add more floating medium to this, so I get this lighter shade of leaves here. So all I did is reduce my color shade by adding just the floating medium. Then I'm now going into the paint. Going forward, I'm just going and doing the same. Add a touch of the yellow shade. keeping it flat straight, and then I'm just pulling some inward here. Just filling with few stems, and I want to make sure the border line is nicely shown. Alright. So we are done with the leaves, at least for now, and then we can fill up later if we want, but for now I think we're good with this. I'll add little darker lines here on the bottom. You can fix that later. Alright, so I'm going to just wash my brush so I get these fresh colors, and take out excess to the napkin or a cloth. And now for the flowers, we are going to just go with purples first. I'm going to pick up white and purple on the other side. Make sure it's loaded well and white is intact. And it's always a good idea to dry your canvas before you start the next step, because we'll start picking up colors, or go to the shades where it's lighter, so that by the time we finish this, we are going to come back and do the other side. Okay, so I'm trying my best to reduce my size of my flower. So if this brush, to me this is a bigger brush, right? So I'll just go with the smaller flat brush instead. instead of going with this big one, vertical flat to make sure we don't have to maintain on the pressure, light pressure, dark pressure, all good. So I'm just picking up. Making sure my brush is loaded well and going back one more time. And because the canvas is smaller, I want to make sure my flowers are not too big. And I switched my brush to 12 flat. And here, as you go up, you're trying to reduce the size of the flower, okay? And make sure you're loading your brush fine as you go up. And also don't make it like a straight line. One has to go to the left and one has to go to the right. And overlapping is fine. You have to. And I'm just going back, loading my brush every time. And as you go up, you're just pulling, so it's just a small flower. Make sure you're loading your brush nice. And as I'm going up, I'm reducing my flower size. Now it's more like a bud. We can add more later, but now I'll move on to the next one. And here picking up my green, so I'm just going and picking up my nice white there and then going back. So same stroke I'm repeating, and we are not looking for perfection, we're just trying to reduce the sizes as we go, and that will also, and because we are going to do the center later, so don't worry if the center is not perfect, just go with the flow. And if you're not comfortable as you go up, you can also reduce the brush size to 8 or 10 to get these smaller. Right? I'm going back one more time here because I don't want to make this look flat, so I'm just going to reduce. More white. Alright, so we have all these flowers going around, and this one I want to increase little. Just keep a look at the whole painting that you did so far. Just see if there are any corrections or additions that you can do before moving on to the next step. Alright, so so the next one is going to be fire coal with some white. I'm going to wash my brush, one fresh one. First time when you're loading, you're just spending enough time so that 3/4 of your brush is loaded nicely and your brush is flat and straight. Alright, and now we are going and just adding these little flowers. And I'm not worried about the background color, I'm just leaving as is if it shows, because these are lighter shades that we are trying to capture here. And when you're going on top of a not dried leaf that we already did, see, you're starting to pick out paint. So one option is either you can just go dry your painting after doing the leaves, or when you're stroking, when it's not dry, make sure you're giving light pressure, not too much of pressure where it will start picking the previous colors. Alright, now as I go up, I'm just trying my best to reduce my size of my flower. It's too much paint, it's not good. Make sure it's loaded nice and well. And then here you can see what we learned. I just put pressure, pressure, pressure. Then it's just 1, 2, 3. Just one light. Now I'm going to go on in between these two and then add few flowers that are going in between, making sure my brush is loaded nice and well before I go on. If I'm losing my orange shade, I'm going to pick up and keep doing that. So as I am going up, I'm just reducing my pressure so that it gets smaller on the flower. And if it's too small, I'm just putting just quick pull and then stand up. And every time I'm just going and pull, stand up. Okay, so we have one going this side, one going that side. I'll add one more going in this, in between these two leaves. And whenever I'm losing my paints, I'm just going in, making sure I have enough loaded and my brush is straightened. And if it is too much, either you just clean up quickly onto the napkin or wash it completely and then reload fresh, so you get the nice paints again. So you can see as I go up, I'm just reducing the size of my flower. I mean the pressure reduced, then it is automatically smaller in size. Right. As I go up, I'm just adding more. So you have one going this side, one going that side, and then one, I'll add one covering in between. I'm starting to pick up green, so I'm just pulling one more time. Alright, so now we did all the big flowers that we wanted to achieve, and then let me just quickly add a layer of purple. For this time it's going to be just loading my brush nice. I think I have a lot of water in my, and then I'm just taking out excess to the napkin. Okay, and now I'm just going and picking floating medium. Okay, so here all you're doing is getting some lighter shades of flower. So you can still see the flower, but it's lighter in shade. Taking out excess if I end up with excess paint. Very light. And then going back. So those are some fillers that we did. And now I'm going to go with this tool, and first we are going to use this green that we have to do the centers of each one. And if it's a big flower, you're trying to cover more. If it's a small flower, you'll reduce the dot. The hair is coming back. Center. And even for the shadow, you're just adding a light center. Oops, my hand. I always do this, I think. Just adding some center dots for our flowers. And now on the other side where it is less smaller tip, we are just going and picking up white, and I'm just adding white dots. So actually in the practice we did the other way around. Either ways you're seeing both darker and lighter shade. Just picking up white every time and just adding some dots with the small, oops, that's a lot, so you want to reduce that, and we'll go back there picking up from the same and then reducing. Oops, now where I'm going on, I'm not keeping my brush like that, so I'm just touching my painting there, which is not good. I'll keep it this side, so I'm not touching painting on the other side. So one other option is just dry your brush, dry your canvas and then come back with these dots where you'll not do this kind of mistakes. To me, I just want to continue. You want to have that flow going. I missed one dot here. Just making sure one more time I covered everything. Even if it is not a complete flower, I'm just adding little on the shadows also. And I'm not repeating. And I'm doing on the shadows. I'm just using the same, continuing, not picking up more. Right? So this is more of a lighter design that we came up with, and then we'll do the final touch-up. Of few small fillers and all that. Okay, so for this we are just going to go with the 2 flat brush. Wash your brush, pick up just white, alright, and then just keeping your brush straight 90 degrees, and then you're just pulling from that. And I'm not picking up more paint. If you notice, I'm just using the same brush and doing this. We'll come back there one more time, and I'm going to add the same, repeat the same here. So I'm using this 2 flat and then just filling white lines for now. We'll add more details later. Adding more, just the lines for now. We'll add more details later, as I said. Just starting with this little detail. I'm going to increase the white shade a little bit here. Right, and then few going here. Pick up more paint. So now that we have all these lines in place, we are going to pick up yellow, and near those whites we randomly pick and choose and add those yellow lines. Same way I'm going to pick up more. Not picking up more. Actually, we can pick up, take out excess, go to floating medium to lighten the color, and just going into floating medium and then lightening the shade that I'm looking for. If not, it's just a darker shade which I am not so fond of. So just floating medium and you will get these lighter shades of yellow that I'm looking for. So now we are going into the greens, just with the same brush, some floating medium, and then we're just adding. We're going to come back with white again. We're going to come back with white again, but for now we're just going and filling these details. Fill us with the Just going into floating medium, adding those, and now going back again to fresh white, take out excess water, just go pick up white and then fill. Just filling up with white again. So you have a blend of background and then color shaded. It's a multi-layered shades that you're a tan green. And on the bottom we are going to make it a little more interesting using the script liner or a round brush or a script. I'm going to pick up a actually two script liner. Script liner, wet your brush, and then using the colors that you have, the darker shades that you have, I'm just going to circle, pick up the second color. Alright, and all I'm doing is just circle, okay, and one more circle and touch of white. And on this side you just all I'm doing is and now I'm just going tip of this, just adding picking up some green. One more time quick liner, then just pick up the gold and then some white. Picking up some purple to that's it. Think we are good now. I'm just going to sign the painting and we are done. Hope you enjoyed this class and looking forward to see your painting as well, and see you next week. And that's our practice followed by completed project. Alright, look at this. I just missed couple of spots here. Just look at your painting one last time. Make sure, see, I missed dots here, or I did but not detailed enough. And here Good. Alright, now finally, hope you enjoyed the class and little final details that we did with all the leaves, then the stems. And if you want, one other thing that we can do at the end, just pick up the colors one last time on the greens and then cover some of your leaves if you want. This is totally optional, only if in case you want to have. If you leave me, I'll keep adding like details. So we have to stop at some point. Touch of floating medium, load, and then I'm just covering what I'm doing here is I'm just covering one leaf, going on top. And also I'm covering from this side. If it's too light when compared to the other painting, you can always go back, restroke. So you covered some of your leaves here and there. Flowers are also covered a little bit with these strokes. So I'm good with this. I don't want to add more details. So just those are options, like you can add more details later as well. And it was good before also, and this is something that I like as well. So those are some. I went with little bigger leaves on that side. Alright. Thank you so much.